Okie dokie. Let's begin. Please sit comfortably. And once again, we do our work. We get into this time together, this window, this opportunity. There's so much moving through the world, always. And so we deepen our practice. Make sure that we are, as much as possible, aligned with all that is. So as you become a little bit more conscious of the breath, exhale by exhale, how does it feel? What is the energy of the exhalation? What can it offer us with regard to how we show up, how we ground, how we find the earth underneath us, underneath the sits bones? The proximity of the pelvic floor to the ground is huge. And in that proximity, find an invitation to empty any tension from the space between the sitting bones and up into the central pelvis, into the core of the pelvis. The shining light of a nerve center, an energy center in the second chakra is the right to feel. According to Anodea Judith, Eastern Body, Western Mind, the right of the second chakra is to feel. Before that, the pelvic floor is the right to be. And this would be enough. This would be enough. So in this practice, in Embody Keys, we orient to the pelvis all the time. This is one of the reasons why, is because it is at the very center of the translation of life into being, coming into existence through the pelvis, through the core. And so come back to the exhalation and feel this grounding force, this release, the invitation to let go of the unnecessary. And interestingly enough, as you're able to let go of held tension in the core, in the pelvis, there's a reciprocity in that release as the spine is somehow released upwards. It's kind of like the balloon dropping its ballast to rise up into the sky. So this is always the embodied understanding and experience of relational fields, like ground through the sits bones and sky through the crown. We're built into these relational dynamics, and so much of it, even in the myofascia of the body, the front body, the back body, the two sides, the core, the spirals, we're built into nature, we're built into source in a relational context. This is why movement is so key. So much more than physical. So just take a few more moments and relate to ground through the exhale. But through the inhalation, see if you can invite a little bit of what I like to call wingspan. So spreading the breath as it comes in from the ground up, spreading the tail, spreading the sacrum, spreading the spine, spreading your being. This is how we begin. In yoga, we used to call it centering. Coming home. Each of us, more than ever, need to cultivate powerful skills of release, mastery in release to show up in the present moment. Now let your belly come a little bit closer to your spine. Now this is going to sound kind of funny because if you do it superficially, you're just going to be sucking your belly in. And I wouldn't recommend that. It's difficult to articulate with words, but can you push the sitting bones down into the ground and a little bit back so the pelvis actually tips a tiny bit forward? Okay? And then this is met by the belly gravitating inward. So I would invite you to hollow the belly towards the spine in a way that feels empty. It feels hollow. And it's difficult. You can't even teach it. It's something I'm pointing to that you're going to remember eventually. So a hollow belly is just a proximity of the belly's awareness towards the spine, and this is going to immediately open your lungs. The next time you breathe in with a hollow belly, the lungs are twice as large. And this is a request from the core that the lungs be more elastic, more supple, more soft, like the lungs of a cat, the lungs of a bird. And the inhalation can be really seductive. It may feel so good that you want to hold it in after the inhale, and sometimes that is our practice, but for now, let it turn right around and release it all through the exhale. So there's a point of interest below the navel on the front belly, well below the navel, the lower dantian. As often as possible, and I'll help remind you, let that point of awareness be a little bit closer to the sacrum. It's kind of a spiritual seatbelt, if you will. Not something that we wear in fear, is something that we wear naturally to keep power from spilling out of the belly. Go ahead and change the way that you're sitting. Try something else. It does not matter what it is. You can take one leg out or switch the way the legs are crossed. But the geometry of the legs, of the lower body, doesn't distract us from the presence of locating ourselves in the belly, in the pelvis. You're going to push your sitting bones down into the ground a little more actively. And then again, a hollow belly. This is a mantra, this is a reminder, a recycling awareness that happens all day long. See if it's possible to enjoy your breath by not controlling it, but rather by just witnessing it, just watch, which is to say, just feel. Just a few more moments. We have much movement ahead of us. And once again, change the way that you're sitting. So we want a wider spectrum of possibilities for how we move, how we sit, how we move, how we are still, and how we are active. Pull the sits bones down and back. A little more enthusiasm in how the belly hollows towards the spine. And this should in no way put any pressure downward on the pelvic floor. The pelvic floor is light, empty, buoyant, like the surface of a trampoline, a natural spring. Okay, and now let's all sit together, cross-legged with the right leg in front. Now, if you need to sit higher, do that. You can sit up on a blanket, sit up on a meditation cushion. And what we're going to do is allow the pelvis, just lay your hands on your knees, and allow the pelvis to fall back and the chin to drop towards the chest. Let the shoulders round. It's okay. It's conscious. And then hook your sitting bones into the ground and pull the ground back with your sits bones to lean the pelvis more up and as far forward as the pelvis can tip. And then you're going to have a little bit of a back bend here as you look up. So there's a concavity to the back of the spine. This is extension of the spine, born from the action of the pelvis. Now, as your eyes are still heavenward, let the pelvis fall back. And then this wave of release moves up the spine as the spine moves into flexion, dropping the head last. And then once again, while your eyes are down, let the pelvis lean forward all by itself, as far as it can go. And then that translates, that wave moves up through the belly. Try not to spill too much through the front of the diaphragm. Keep the belly strong as you back bend and look up. The shoulder blades are close here. Opening the throat, and then keep the eyes to the sky. Let the pelvis fall back again. Follow the wave up the spine until the head falls. And then continue on your own. Move the pelvis first, the head last. So back bending, pelvis first. And then a bit of flexion, pelvis first. So it begins with the origin, translation of movement, of life comes through from source into breath, and from breath into core, pelvis and belly. And so this is why we move from the core first, from the pelvis and the low belly first, in that order. Let the arms float. You'll start to find your own dance as if you're doing this practice in water. Like the dense, mineral-rich water here in Ojo Caliente in New Mexico. Pelvis first, just a few more. And everyone, this is very strong. You're not just going through the motions, a slack ragdoll, which is fine as a beginning, but you want to begin to organize the tone of the entire body. This is why the metaphor of water is so relevant, because it makes you, metaphorically at least, more aware of what's necessary to tone your body in this way, to change your viscosity. Now start to reach your arms out in front of you and go ahead and roll back, drop the chin. And then you're going to grab onto the air with your hands, make fists, and pull yourself forward, pelvis first. As you reach your back bend, pull the hands under the shoulders, letting the shoulder blades squeeze together, strong belly. Keep the eyes up, and then as their pelvis falls back, push forward with your hands, letting the chin and the head fall last. So remember, it continues to be pelvis first, but we're adding this pull and push metaphor with the arms. Pulling into the back bend. And as the fists come under the shoulders, turn the palms up. And then when you push back, open the hands and reach the palms forward and feel how powerful you can be. You can actually turn on your body so thoroughly, so deeply that you're shaking slightly, which is beautiful because it moves micro trauma out of the entire system. Breathe freely, even though you're fully turned on, every fiber participating in this. Try to let the head look around a little bit as you move, just a few more pulsations through this flow. Oh my gosh. So you have to resist yourself intelligently. This is turning on in a way that is functional without the function. So we begin with a metaphor, push and pull, rock the pelvis. So you get the muscular burn quite quickly. And then let yourself fall into neutral sitting. Change the way that the legs are crossed, so the left leg is in front now. Give yourself a few moments in meditation, just allowing yourself to feel everything that is stirred up for you right now. With the right leg crossed in front, and without using the hands, begin to rock side to side. Start to lean. Start small with a small range of motion. Rock side to side. And it'll open up relatively quickly for you, especially if you're used to this way of moving. Let the spine round sideways, side bending, letting the head tip down over the low shoulder. You can even look down at the floor. Now lay your hands on your belly and notice how the complex belly works, how we need to really organize the belly. And the belly here describes that which wraps all the way around the lower torso. So you want to be able to organize some strength through all the layers of the belly. Stay forward on the sitting bones, especially the sitting bone you're leaning onto. So instead of tucking, but as you lean forward on the sits bone, draw the belly, hollow the belly back to the spine. You start to lean far enough until the hip you're leaning away from floats off the floor, along with that same side knee. So point the floating knee all as far away from your head as possible when you lean into one side. Now you can start laying your hands on the floor in the direction you're leaning into. Just take a little bit of weight in the hand. Let the head be free to look around, but slowly, consciously. And as range of motion increases here, you're going to be loading the shoulder more and more. So you have to be very careful to take the loaded shoulder blade away from the floor and wrap it in towards the spine. It's scapular retraction. So when people say keep your shoulders on your back, there's part of that here, but mostly you want to orient the shoulder blade towards the tail and away from the floor on the loaded side. You can also assist with the free hand. You can put both hands on the floor. Now with the right leg in front, you can, when you lean to your left, you can set your right leg with the knee up and the foot down. But it's only when you lean to your left. When you go to your right, you're going to have to strengthen around the left ankle. It's really good for the left ankle. And take it easy, just a few more pulsations every one. For the last couple of rounds, each time you get close to the floor, if you're close to the floor, touch the forehead to the earth. And where you feel the stretch in the side belly, the skyward side belly, that's where you need to strengthen. One more per side. Ooh, a lot of work here. This is so good for so many reasons. All right. Beautiful. And now come back up to a seat. Sit any way you want to. And just pause. So you're going to feel a lot of movement, a lot of space, a lot of energy moving through all of the upper branches of your tree. So cultivate an awareness of what it feels like to be totally abundant and full, and also simultaneously being empty, so spacious in that abundance that it can be both empty, shunyam, to use the Sanskrit word, which is void, and purnam, which describes fullness, completeness, wholeness. So if you just turn to your left depending on whether or not your right leg is in front. Lift into a fold, the key of folding, knees bent, fingertips or palms on the floor. And you're just going to start to move side to side. Take your feet about 10, 12 inches apart. Go slow. Again, so find your metaphor in tone of water, moving within water, and pushing, pulling at the same time to slow yourself down, to engage more deeply, more thoroughly, moving side to side. And as you move side to side, let the head look around here and there, mostly hanging the crown towards the floor. Bend your knees more, put the palms down. And as you move side to side, start to open up the footwork. And by that, what we're really just inviting is that the feet start to dance. They start to dance. You start to lift a heel. You lift the ball of one foot. You turn the feet here and there, but still the movement is basically side to side in the hips. And your hands will walk around, right? But close your eyes for a moment as you shift side to side. It's okay to feel a little disoriented. Can you move the planet side to side with your feet and your hands working together? So take the surface of the planet under your feet and throw the planet to the left as your body shifts to the right. And move the ground to the right to move your body to the left. The planet loves this kind of conscious feedback, conscious palpation. So gravity, the power of attraction, this power of connection. Now really work the arms, grab on with your fingertips and really dig in and move the ground to the side, to go to one side with your body and then shift back the other way. So you can feel the great orb of the planet underneath you. Tune into her entirety. Be part of it. And you're powerful enough to move her as she is moving you. It's powerful reality. When metaphor becomes reality, and by that I mean it's a change in the tone of your body. The metaphor is no longer just a metaphor. It's real. Wow, you should feel like you're deeply working your legs, deeply working your whole body. And then we're going to come back down and have a seat, however you do so, and lay down, because why not? Oh, yes. Let your eyes close. Movement, it doesn't take a lot of complex conscious movement to bring the fullness of the deep medicine. We're movers. I believe that we're not even designed to sit very still for a tremendously long period of time without some kind of movement, variation, or something changing. Now, while you're here on your back, receiving everything that you just consciously stirred up, and that's all positive, be aware of the pelvis in this supine shape, the key of supine. And see if you can drop your sitting bones a little bit towards the floor, which is going to create a little bit of a back bend in your lower lumbar spine at the top of the sacrum in L4, L5. So this is not something that sits idle on its own. Keep the sits bones low to the floor with your tiny back bend and touch a few light fingertips to the low belly below the navel. And let the low belly drop and drop. This is again hollowing. This is an emptiness that feels like gravity pulling the belly towards the floor without tucking the pelvis until the lumbar spines are very close to the ground. Now, can you continue to pull the sits bones a little bit down or point them forward and down? Turn the buttocks slightly on And then hollow the belly until the 5 lumbar vertebrae, like 5 great pearls, almost rest on the floor. Cannot tell you how profound this shift is. So you're not tucking your pelvis to get the lumbar close to the ground, right? There's a power, however, in the belly that supports the proper space of the lower vertebrae. And here you are laying on your back, seemingly chill, and you are chill, but you're totally on in your core. And then bend your knees and walk your feet in and come up to a seat. And this time we're going to sit cross-legged, everybody, with the left leg in front. Left leg in front. Okie dokie. So, take your hands and just touch the fingertips in front of the heart like a very loose prayer, mudra. Now, you're in water again, or maybe something thicker like honey, or even clay. And you're going to take your right arm and you're going to reach the right arm out to the side and follow the hand with your eyes, looking to your right, until you can reach your right palm as far out to the right as it will go, the palm facing the sky, and pierce the veil through the right fingertips. It's a powerful reach through the whole body. Now, following the right hand with your eyes, bring the right hand, the palm facing the midline, bring it right in front of the heart. Drop your left hand down in front of the belly and push the right hand across the midline as far as it will go, and watch with your eyes. Notice my left hand is down in front of the lower dantian, pushing the other way. Now, point the right fingertips, and I'm going to follow that hand with the eyes as we go up and up, looking up, and bring the hand all the way back behind you over on the right side, palm facing the ceiling again. Now, while you're here, turn the lower half of the body to the left. Pull the left kidney back, the left buttocks and hip back, the left knee and thigh back, and look right out over the right index finger with your eyes. Now, take the right arm and slice it forward, arcing forward, coming all the way out in front and all the way over to the left. And as you do so, touch the hands again on your left side. And now reach your left arm to the left, palm up. Let the right hand float in front of the heart. Look with your eyes out over the left hand. Take a breath in, receive a breath in, and then exhale, pushing the hand across the midline, following with your eyes. Push it as far to the right as it will go. The right hand dropping down, the right palm facing the midline. Now point the left fingertips, and then follow the left hand with your eyes as you reach the left arm up over the top, back over to the left and as far back as you can. Palm up at the end, looking out over the left hand. Now turn the lower half of the body to the right, diaphragm to sits bones to the right. And sweep the left arm all the way out in front of you on the horizon. Keep going all the way over to your right. And as you do so, let your right hand slide out and touch the left as your right hand reaches to the right and you're looking out of the right hand. Take a breath in. It's beautiful. Feel that power of that reach as your belly engaged. And then exhale, bring the right hand across the midline and push it across in front of the heart. The left hand dropping. Follow the right hand with your eyes. Point the fingertips, the right fingertips. Reach up, inhale. Follow all the way up with your eyes. Reach over to the right and back, dropping, and watch. Now, the palm is up. You're in a twist. Your head is turned to look over the right hand. From diaphragm to pelvis, look left, turn left. And then arc the right hand. Sweep the right arm out in front of you. All the way across the midline over to your left and slide the left hand out. Looking out over the left palm, the palm facing the ceiling. Okay, so we're going to take the left hand and bring it across the midline, resisting every movement. Push across the heart. Follow the hand with your eyes as it goes over to the right. Point the left fingertips, and then reach the left arm up. Follow with your eyes. Bring it across the top of the sky, back into your left, still watching with the eyes. Sweep the left arm across the horizon, left to right, all the way across. Watching with the eyes. Slide the right hand out. And you're looking right, the right arm reaching, palm up. Take a breath in. And exhale, bring the right hand across the midline. Push across the heart. Follow with the eyes as it pushes to your left. And then bring the right arm like a big backstroke. Bring the right arm up, high over the top, back into the right, twisting. Counter rotate below the diaphragm to the left. And then sweep the right arm across the horizon, right to left. Watch the fingertips with the eyes. Go all the way across. Reach your left arm out as you get to the left side and reach the left arm. That's the cycle. Bring the left hand across the midline, right in front of the heart. Strong, everyone. You're shaking with enthusiasm. Bring the left arm high, backstroking high, back into the left, palm up, follow with the eyes. Sweep the left arm across the horizon, left to right. Reach the right arm out to the right, palm up. Looking out over the right hand. Breath in, and then exhale. Bring the right hand and push it across the midline, strong. All the way across the midline. Point the fingertips. Backstroke the right arm. Breathe. Reach high. Look. Follow the skyward hand with the eyes. Twisting to the right. Counter rotate to the left. Sweep the right arm. Right to left. Slide the left arm out. Palm up. Looking out over the left hand. Exhale. Push the left palm across the midline. Follow with the eyes. And here's the backstroke of the left arm, reaching the left arm up. Follow with the eyes. Go all the way up, back into the left. Counter rotate to the right below the diaphragm. Sweep the left arm all the way across to the right. Last round. Slide the right arm out, reaching the right palm up, looking fully, turning the head to look over the right index finger. Push the right palm across the midline, all the way to the left. Point the fingers, reach the right arm, big backstroke. Don't forget to counter rotate, pull the left kidney back, and then sweep the right arm all the way across, right to left. Left arm out, last time, looking out over the left hand. Press the left palm across the midline. To the right side, point the left fingertips. Reach the left arm high, over the top, back and to the left. Counter rotate, draw the right kidney back. And then arcing, sweeping the left arm all the way out to the front. And then release. Beautiful. Good, everyone. Very nice. Let the legs go. So the way that we sit can change all the time. That was left leg forward. So a deep hip opener for the left side. Sit with the right leg in front. And just lay your hands on your knees. We're going to let the pelvis go into an orbital movement. Now, orbital, what I mean by this is not a circular orbit, although that is possible. Keep the orbit wide with a little bit of space between the front and back. So instead of a linear side-to-side movement, let the bowl of the pelvis rock around in this elliptical path. Another way to orient to this is to feel the sits bones like twin brushes, painting wide orbits that overlap. Change directions of your orbit whenever you like. But probably the greatest metaphor that you can play with here is to move the planet side to side with your sits bones on a slightly orbital path. So the orb of Earth, the power of all of that mass and gravity and brilliance, she's an organism you're a part of. Move the planet with your pelvis and it changes your tonality. There might be a place along your path in your orbital movement where it's a little bumpy, it's a little bit unavailable, and you can brush back and forth across that zone to help smooth it out, to become more familiar with the movement in that place that might tend to be a little sticky. Strong through the glutes, strong through the low belly, strong through the legs, soft in the eyes, transparent in the eyes. Try to move the pelvis before the belly. The belly needs to follow the pelvis, not guide the pelvis. Beautiful. All right, now go ahead and release, and let's come up to standing for just a moment. So conscious transition to standing. All right. So take an asymmetrical stance with your left foot just behind and left leg turned slightly out. Coil, C-O-I-L, by falling out of locked knees and dropping your gravity center down into the core pelvis so that you're bending your knees a little bit. And start to pull the ground back with your feet to rock forward. And push the ground forward to move back. So here we go again. Start to, as you get into a rhythm of your pulsation, you're going to get into a little bit of a back bend at the front of this. And at the back, there's a little bit of a cat stance as you look down, loading the back leg more. Let the arms become involved. You can do, as we did earlier sitting, you can pull yourself forward and close the shoulder blades. You can push yourself back, palms forward. That's one idea. You start to find your own variations, and that's what this is all about. Finding your dance within the shared human experience. Now turn the front leg in. That means your right toes turn to the left. But make sure that when you come forward with the hips and load the front leg, that you're actively turning the right thigh to the left as much as possible. And then turn the front leg out. And likewise, when you come forward, turn the right thigh out actively, but the pelvis is still more or less moving forward and back. And to just switch sides, just simply switch the feet creatively. Left foot forward, right leg back. And so drop down into the legs, bending the knees, soft, and you're coiling. Coiling means you're coming into yourself. Remember to orient to moving the ground backwards to move forward, and move the ground forward to move backwards. So articulating the whole body, pandiculation. That's why the metaphor of water, that's why we use the metaphor of moving the earth. So you need to be working very deeply here through all of your body. Now turn the front leg in, that's toes to your right. And again, when you come forward, turn the left thigh fully to the right. Seriously opens the hips. And then turn your front leg out, your left toes and knee to the left. The left toes and knee should track together the whole time. The back leg can turn in, can turn out, can do different things. Again, your personal variations. Now one more time, go ahead and switch sides so that the right foot is leading. Now start to move forward and back again, same as before. This time I'm going to invite you to play around a little bit. When you rock back, lift your right foot off the floor an inch or two. And when you rock forward and get into your back bend, float the back foot a little bit off the ground. So rocking back, the right foot lifts. Rocking forward, the left foot lifts. So the navigational key of balance. Still pulling the earth to move forward and pushing the earth to move back. And change sides. Left foot leading. Dropping down into the pelvis. As you rock back, lift the left foot. As you rock forward, lift the right foot. Okay, great. And coming down to a seat. Take your time. We're going to sit with the left leg forward again. Okay. So left leg in front. We're going to get into a repeating sequence. It goes something like this. So with the left leg in front, okay, you're going to slide both your hands to the left. Now watch. If I go far enough, you can pick up into a side plank with your left leg just in front, balancing on your left hand. Okay? Now, you turn your left toes under and step over the top. Your right leg steps forward, and you're in a crouch. Okay? Yeah, and then we're going to stand up, turn all the way around to your left, 180, and dip the right knee, pick up the back heel off the floor, and dip the right knee very close to the floor. So standing in a lunge. You can even look up a little bit. Put your right hand down, turn to your left into a side plank. Now the left foot will be just in front. Slide your right leg underneath you, folding and sitting, but you're going to let the right leg be in front as you bring your left leg inside. Pause. Just one time through that sequence, there's a lot to feel. Now, be soft as you enter this. You're going to lean to your right and slide both hands, the right hand further. And then slide right up into side plank on your right hand. Your right foot should lead just a little bit. Tuck your right toes under, turning the right leg towards the floor. Step the left leg over the top to a lunge or a crouch. And stand up, left leg leading. Now you're going to turn around slowly to your right, 180 degrees. Picking up the left heel as you go. You might hop your back foot a little bit to the left and lower the left knee closer to the floor. Lay the hands on the belly and look up. Push the earth down with the ball of the left foot. Then fold forward, put your left hand down. Turn to your right as you step the right leg back into a side plank. The right foot should lead. You simply slide your left leg underneath you and have a seat. Sit cross-legged with the left leg in front. And again, pause. Give yourself a moment. Empty any residual tension, any residual patterning that you're aware of. So this is a very flowy little sequence. We're going to lean to our left, slide both hands, reach the left arm more, come up into a side plank, left leg is in front. Step over the top with the right leg into a lunge or a crouch and stand up. Turn around to your left. Drop the right knee close to the floor. Combining the keys of standing and lunging, crouching, look up, lean back, strong belly. And put the right hand down on the earth. Step your left foot back, turn to your left side plank, slide the right leg underneath you, and fold into the seat. Right leg in front. Lean to your right, slide the hands farther, lift up into side plank on the right hand, right foot leads. Step over the top with the left leg into a lunge or a crouch. Stand up. Turn or pivot to the right, 180. Pick up the back heel completely and dip low without touching the floor through the left knee and look up. Bring the diaphragm and the kidneys back. And bring the left hand down. Step the right foot back. Look right for side plank. Fold your left leg underneath you. Sit down. Right leg tucks inside. Left leg forward. Pause. Let your sacrum breathe without dumping the pelvis into posterior rotation. Keep the sits bones down deep and a little behind you while the sacrum spreads out. Okay, here we go. Lean to your left. Slide the hands asymmetrically. Left hand leads. Legs go out, lift up into side plank. Left foot leads. Tuck the left toes under. Come over the top with the right leg. Turning to your left. Like a lunge with the right leg forward. Stand up. Turn to your left. 180. Walk the front foot and the left foot more to the left as you dip the pelvis lower to the ground and lean back and look up. Put the right hand down. Step the left leg back. Side plank. Left foot's in front. Slide the right leg underneath you. Have a seat. Right leg in front. Breath of life. Lean to your right. Lead with the right hand. Slide the legs out. Side plank. Right leg leading. Turn the right leg towards the floor. Step the left leg over the top. Lunge. And stand. Turn around, nice and slow. Hop the back foot to the left a little, and the left knee starts to fall. We lower our center of gravity and look up. Left hand down. Step the right foot back. Turn to your left inside plank, or to your right, I mean, and then bring the left leg underneath you. Sit. Bring your right leg inside, left leg forward. Pause. Any tension in the sacral space, the low back, or the base, right behind the base of the cranium, just behind and underneath the occiput, in the upper cervical spine, the neck. A few moments here. We'll do another round in just a moment. All right. So once again, slide to your left. Left hand leads. Pick up into your side plank. Consciously, left foot in front. Roll over the top. Right foot forward into a lunge. Stand up. Turn to your left, 180. Pick up the back heel, the right heel, and lower the pelvis towards the floor. Leaning back and looking up. Reach a little more through the right inner heel. And then bring the right hand down. Step the left foot back, side plank, looking to your left. Fold the right leg underneath you and have a seat. Right leg in front. Slide to the right, the hands, the feet slide to the left, side plank on the right hand, right foot leads. Step over the top, left foot forward in a lunge, and stand. Turn around, dip Keeping the pelvis close to the earth, leaning back, reach back through the left inner heel a little more. Left hand down to the earth, step the right leg back into a side plank, looking to the right. Fold the left leg underneath you and have a seat, left leg in front. Let's take a moment and stay right here. So we have a chance to, as always, to truly witness, to become the landscape of everything that is so abundant and spacious and grateful and alive. And within all of that, all of the complex, deep, sweet release that's part of it. The reciprocity of release and fullness, release and vitality. The discernment necessary to understand what is released, and what remains, what arrives. Now this last sequence, just take our time in the first few rounds so we get a feel for it. Preferably without using your hands. You're going to come into a squat. And the way you can do this is, let me guide you through this. First, you're going to set your left leg. So pick up your left knee and put your left foot on the floor. Now reach your arms way out in front of you, kind of tucking your left knee into the left armpit. Lift your hips and tuck your right toes under. Then you're all set. You're going to rock back and lift the right knee off the ground. Now from here, we're going to move into a short crouch. But the thing is to not touch the floor at first. Lift the hips and then touch the floor. Now, as you crouch with your left leg leading, rock forward and back, slow and strong, as if in water. Or, better yet, move the planet forward and back with your feet. And enjoy the variations that come. Some of the most common and juicy are the legs turning in different directions as you continue to move forward and back. And the orientation in the pelvis doesn't change, but you find your footwork, the articulation of hip, knee, ankle, and foot. And then walk your hands around a quarter turn to your left, turning the feet with you. You'll end up crossing your crouch, and the left leg is crossing the right, and continue to move. You might bend your knees more and drop the palms to the ground and just kind of move the planet side to side with your hands and feet. Now, we're simply going to take the left leg out and swing it around to your left and behind you across the midline, reversing into the very same thing on the other side. Right leg crossing the left. But as soon as you do so, lower the knees down and sit like in cow face with the right knee on top. While you're here, just let the upper body swing a little bit side to side, swaying from sitting bone to sitting bone, even though your left sitting bone is going to stay on the floor probably. And while you move side to side, turn everything on that you feel being stretched, especially the hips. The way to do that is to activate the legs more, push both knees down into the floor. Now, we're going to turn a quarter turn to our left, Lift the hips, and you're in a crouch with a longer stance with your right leg leading. So just play around in this. Again, moving, mostly in the crouch, the pulsation is forward and back, orbitally or in a more linear fashion. But again, pull the ground to move your body forward and push the ground forward to move your body back. Empty the neck and look around. Put the palms on the floor. Grab on with your fingertips. Be very strong through the whole body. All we're going to do is just step the left leg out to the left, feet about hip width apart, and you're in a fold again, moving side to side. And straight away, find your footwork, meaning there's a lot more bend, there's a lot more pivot of hip, knee articulation, ankle and foot. Dropping the pelvis closer to a squat as you're in the fold, moving around. And then turn a quarter turn to your left, and you're in a crouch with the left leg leading. Now what we're going to do is bend the back knee more, put the palms down, or just stay on your fingertips if you like. You're going to slide your left leg back and up into the sky. Not super high. Put the left palm down and just cup your right hand around the front of the right knee. Bow the head slightly and pick up the diaphragm and push the left foot so far back, the right knee's bending even more into the right hand. Then turn your head to the right. Drop the gaze, drop the back foot way behind you into a lunge, and then walk all the way around to your left, 180, into a lunge with the left leg leading. Play around here for a moment. Now put the hands down and bring your left leg and fold it underneath you as you have a seat. Right leg out to the side, left leg folded, right knee bent, pulling the right heel and the right sitting bone down, pre-engaging as you lean sideways over your right leg for a moment. Not seeking a stretch, but moving into a deep space while being totally activated in the right hamstrings. This is why we pull the right sitting bone and right heel down into the ground. And then as you come up, just bring your right leg in and sit cross-legged with the right leg in front. It's quite a thing, isn't it? Life. Cultivate wingspan. Cultivate wingspan by breath alone. And the thing is, it's easier to feel if you can feel wide on the inhale. It may be more challenging to continue to widen as you exhale. But it is possible, energetically. Okay, everyone. So if you lean a little bit to your left, you can set your right leg. Reach your arms forward over the top. Lift your hips and tuck your left toes under and come up into a squat, lifting the left knee. Then before you touch the floor, lift the hips and then fingertips down into a short crouch with the right leg leading. Rocking the earth. Soft and engaged, and totally playful, smoothing the energy of the brow. Turn a quarter turn to your right, and you'll end up crossing your short crouch. Right is crossing left. Moving the planet side to side on a kind of a diagonal track. Load the hands into the floor often. Get the chest involved, the shoulders involved. Now we're going to swing the right leg out to the right and behind us and across the midline, reversing into another cross crouch, left leg in front now. Go ahead and sit down in it. Left knee stacked on top, like in Gomukhasana from yoga. Activate the legs by pressing the feet down into the ground, the knees down into the ground, and rock a little bit, the upper body swinging side to side. Now when you lean to your right, it's going to light up the left hip, so you're going to really work the left hip to resist the stretch. Good, now rock to your left. You're going to look to your right. Now as you come back across, turn a quarter turn to your right, lift the hips, you're going to crouch with the left leg leading. Find your variations. Find your textures, your colors, your harmonics, your melodies. And we're going to just simply hop the right foot out next to the left, feet about hip width apart or wider, moving side to side and finding your footwork straight away. You let your stance widen a little bit in your fold, moving side to side. Turn a quarter turn to your right. You'll be in another crouch now with the right leg leading. Longer stance. Put the hands down and walk, slide the right leg back. Walk the hands back and extend the right leg way out behind you and up, pushing through the heel a little higher than the toes. Pick up the diaphragm, bend the left knee and cup the left knee with your left hand as you bend your left knee more. Turn your head to the left, put your right palm down. Push the right heel so far back that this makes sense, and then we're going to drop the eyes and drop the right foot behind us into a lunge. Walk around to your right, 180 degrees. You end up in a lunge with the right leg leading. Stay here for a moment. And then moving the hands inside the right foot. Turn to your left. Have a seat. Right leg folded, left leg out to the left. Left knee bent. Already pulling the left heel down into the floor as you lean softly over the left leg without seeking a destination. Definitely don't seek the sensation of a stretch. Activate, breathe. And then as you come up, sit cross-legged, left leg in front. So, beautiful. Let's run through this sequence one more time on both sides before we rest. But let's first just take a few moments and give ourselves the opportunity to practice emptiness, mastery of emptiness, the sweetness of hollow, Here we go. Set your left leg, knee up, foot down. Lean forward, tuck your right toes under, and lift the right knee in a squat with the left foot leading. Lift your hips as you fold down into a short crouch, fingertips or palms on the floor, and move within this. Dropping the crown, softening the eyes and the brow again. Feel the cool space, the breath of life behind the eyes, and enjoy that. Bathing the eyes as you move the earth front to back, back to front, with your body, with your feet and your hands. And we're going to turn to your left, spinning the feet as you go. A quarter turn to your left, you'll end up in a crossed crouch. The left leg crossing over the right leg, moving diagonally between the feet. Now, swing the left leg out to the left and around behind you and across the midline as you back up, crossing right knee over left as you sit down. Stay here for just a moment and do anything you want to do. The baseline minimum, bare minimum, is to turn the legs on and embrace the geometry of the lower half of the body at least. Lean a little to your right. And then look left and lift up, quarter turn to your left, lift up into a crouch, right leg leading. Keep moving. And just step your left foot next to your right foot, feet hip width apart, start moving side to side in a fold and bending the knees more and finding your footwork and getting all kinds of monkey as you open the stance up a little, moving side to side. A quarter turn to your left, you're in a crouch with your left leg leading. Now, walk your hands back. Keep your right foot where it is. Slide the left leg back and push the left leg a little higher than the ground line. Horizontal, a little higher. Cup your right knee with your right hand. Put your left palm down. Grab on with your left fingertips. Bend the right knee as you push your left heel so far back. Turn your head to the right. Breathe. Pick up the kidneys. Then drop the eyes and the left leg into a lunge. Walk around to your left, 180. You're in a lunge with the left leg leading. Do what you can here to release any residual tension from the right hip. And both hands down inside the left foot. Just turn your right and have a seat. Left leg folds. Right leg slides out to the right side. Pre-engage. Lean sideways over the right leg. Find some movement here. And then as you come up, just fold the right leg in front of the left, sitting cross-legged, right side leading. And another pause, which just simply means that there's relatively less movement in this moment. There's a lot of subtle movement always. Last time, everyone, here we go. Set your right leg. Reach forward. Pick the hips up and tuck the left toes under. Lift the left knee. Lift the hips and fold into a small stance, crouch. Right leg is in front, of course. If you bend your knees more and put the palms down, you can connect to the ground a little bit more through both hands and both feet. Quarter turn to your right, turning the feet as you go, crossing your crouch. Right leg over left. And we're going to swing the right leg out to the right and around back as you back your hands up, crossing the right leg behind over the midline. Sit down, the left knee on top. Immediately engaged through the legs. Pause here for a moment. Pull the sitting bones and the earth back. Lean a little to your left. Look to your right. And then we're going to go a quarter turn to the right. Lift the hips. You're in a crouch with the left leg leading. And step the right foot out next to the left in a wide-ish fold, moving bilaterally side to side now. Quarter turn to your right. Right leg leads in a longer stance crouch. Empty the back of the neck if it's holding. Now we're going to slide back the right foot, walk the hands back, press the right leg back into the sky, way behind you, the heel higher than the toes, kind of like a half moon, but bend the left knee. Put the right palm down. Cup your left hand over the left knee. Push the knee into the left hand and push the right heel back further. Pick up the belly, pick up the diaphragm. Turn your head to the left. Kind of like a revolved half moon. Breath in.
And then drop the right foot and the eyes. Turn around to your right, 180. Enjoy the transition, releasing the left hip in a lunge with the right leg lead. Both hands down inside the right foot. Turn to your left as you sit. Right leg folds in front. Left leg out to the side. Bend the left knee. Pull the earth down with your left side sitting bone and left heel. Side bend over the left leg without the stretch. And then from here, come on up and cross the left leg in front. Sitting cross-legged. Yeah. Welcome home. Let's lay down, everyone, and rest consciously for just a little bit. So make yourself comfortable in the key of supine. Stay warm. Keep it really simple, though. Really simple. Practicing emptiness. Relaxing the back of the throat so that it hangs like a great hammock between two trees. This is open net at the back of the throat. Feel this in the back of the diaphragm and also at the sacrum and at the tail.
Take your time, as always. Moving through the transition from your rest into the rest of the flow of your day. And just begin by sitting. As always, friends, beautiful to see you and to share space with you, however we do that. Beautiful movement. Enjoy the rest of your day. Much love.